Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Patreon-submitted Obosh the Prey Piercer list. Can our opponents survive double damage? Find out next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, be sure to check out my GoFundMe if you want to submit decks for me to play or do one-on-one deck reviews. Check the link in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing some Obosh the Prey Piercer today. Today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Hammerbangers. So with Obosh, all of our odd converted mana cost sources are going to deal double damage, and we've got some stuff in here. Played this deck one time before. It does have a combo in it. Ended up keeping an opening hand that looked like this. Doesn't look too bad. Got a little ramp in this Jet Medallion. Could maybe have a little bit more card draw, but we do have this Castle Locktwain. Just that Castle Locktwain can be a little bit pricey, although there's a Necrogen Mists. So we get everyone's hand nice and empty, then lay down the Necrogen Mists. We can Castle Locktwain pretty cheaply in the Life Loss department. Opponent lays down a land. Let's play this Verdant Catacombs, crack this Verdant Catacombs, get Badlands, play Quest for the Nile Stone. So 1 mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent discards a card, put a quest counter on it. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, and this has 2 or more quest counters on it, you may have that player lose 5 life. Yeah, that's pretty serious. Note that Obosh is damage only, does not affect life loss, and this is a life loss effect. But if we're making people discard stuff, it still shouldn't be too bad. Opponent lays down their Grenzo. I've faced this deck quite a bit over the past few weeks, and it's a pretty interesting deck. Playing with other people's decks is always fun and exciting. It can just be really disruptive, like when you start getting your stuff exiled and your creatures are goated and all that sort of nonsense. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, that does bring it back to our turn. We draw into this Wheel of Torture. This one made an appearance in the last game, but did get some damage going for us. At the moment right here, we're going to lay down this Jet Medallion. Try to get that cost reduction going. Next turn, we could potentially cast... Either cast the Planeswalker. The Planeswalker may be less good with creatures running around. Yeah, maybe that puts us on Glinthorn. We'll see, we'll see. We'll feel it all out. Get the Wheel of Torture going as well, maybe. Let's take a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up, we have Banana piloting Ikra partnered with Ludevic with companion Umori. So each non-land card in their starting deck must share a card type, and spells you cast for the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. Here comes a Loyal Apprentice for the Grenzo. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I'm curious to see what's going on with this deck. I mean, this thing's pretty interesting. 4 colors, no white. I think we're in for some wildness over there. Next up, we have Zachary Ryan piloting Karona False God. Here's one I haven't seen in a long time. I think they told us in the chat what they were doing. Let's see. There may be some snake action going on with this Karona False God deck. We'll see. Finally, we've got 2 Weens piloting his Grenzo deck. And yeah, this is one I've been seeing a lot. It's pretty interesting. Grenzo is super disruptive. So no creatures in play, so he's just going to exile stuff from the top of everyone's library. More chances to hit Soul Rings and Mana Crypts that way. There's a Bramble Sovereign. I'm happy to not see that. That card's pretty nasty. Land off 1, and a Dracuseth off of our deck. Well, no more Dracuseth for us. Oh my, that'd be so much damage with Obosh in play. That's a game ender right there. In all likelihood, we probably don't need Dracuseth right now. Like, that's a card you don't really want to draw until much later in the game. At this moment, I'm much happier taking this land right here, but let's get Castle Locktwain into play. I'm not sure that I'm completely committed to discarding the hands yet. Let's get the... Yeah, maybe we start firing off the discard for the Nile Stone. Or we could play it safe and cast a blocker. Let's do that. I guess we won't... on the other hand, we won't be able to stop this Thopter. Yeah, man, those Thopters off that Loyal Apprentice, they will get you. Unfortunately, hands are still really full for opponents, so it's going to be a minute on this Nile Stone. Yeah, we can always cast Obosh next turn, too. Ooh, Wheel of Torture is more than 4, right? Ooh, yeah, maybe we should get the Wheel of Torture in. Ludevic coming into play. At the beginning of each player's end step, that player may draw a card if a player other than you lost life this turn. Yep. Always got to read that one a few times. I don't know why that one confuses me so much. That's going to keep everyone's hands full. So, yeah, Wheel of Torture. I think Obosh, then Wheel of Torture, probably where we're going to be. Bloodthirsty Blade for opponent, nice. Opponent says, we're a mill deck now, just give me 100 creatures, or 100 combats. Nice. Puts the Bloodthirsty Blade on the Loyal Apprentice, yep. That will actually get the Loyal Apprentice killed. That's actually a great call by our opponent, because either of us have blockers for it, so yeah. Oh, it is a 4-1, though. How interested am I in trading this Glinthorn for the Loyal? I might. I definitely don't feel like taking 4. It's going to continue to cause problems the longer it stays in play, so yeah, I think we're doing it if they come our way with it. Goblin Bombardment, that's a card. Claim the Firstborn. Gain control of target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. Yup. Got us. Here comes. This is going to hurt pretty badly. Yep, here comes the 4-1. Well, they set the other ones elsewhere, so I guess, you know, I don't love taking the 4, but it could be worse. Oh, no, opponent's got a sack outlet, so they can just sack our creature. Yep, the creature's not coming back, unless they forget. Grenzo's going to trigger a whole bunch of times. It's an Oracle of Moldiah, wow. Can't cast it, though. Sword of the Animist, they can cast. And, oh, Waste Not. Yeah, Waste Not was a card we wanted. That's a super powerful card. Gonna cast the Sword of the Animist. Yep. Yep, opponent sacks our creature. I think they didn't see who they shot. Price of Knowledge, you say. Players have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, Price of Knowledge deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. Wow. A few turns away from that, but get the Swamp into play. Puts us on 5. We could get Obosh in if we wanted, and a blocker is not terrible. That means we'd only take the ones on the ground, theoretically. I think I like that the best. Ludevic end step trigger, nothing doing. Someone's got a board wipe, they gotta cast it real soon, because the goblin's getting out of control. Here comes Umori. That's a 4/5 for 4. It's a pretty big body. Opponent chooses a card type, they choose creature, so apparently all creatures in the deck. So probably not going to get so much removal out of them. Hopefully Karona's got something. Opponent discards a card to hand size, going to put a counter on the quest for the Nile Stone. Here comes an Archon of Sun's Grace, yep. See how bad it gets this turn off the goblins. Could really do without more threaten effects. Puts the sword on the Loyal Apprentice, it's a 5/2. Goes combat, gets a Thopter. 5/2 coming our way, awesome. Could really use some first strike right here. Thopter coming our way. Opponent gets a land. Man, should we block? If we don't, they just keep making Thopters. I think we block. Opponent goes for 3 goad triggers. Moves the sword over to Grenzo. That's an Exquisite Blood. That's so interesting. Because, man, when you play this, everyone just attacks you because they can't attack anywhere else. Think we wait on that. Was hoping for a land. Do we Castle Locktwain? No, that's going to hurt quite a bit if we do. I'm going to go Davriel. And then next turn I'll think about Castle Locktwain. We're going to target the Grenzo, make him discard a card. Been a thorn on our side. They discard a Traitorous Blood, nice. Puts counter on the Nile Stone. Now we need to get opponents empty. That's going to be a ways away, I think. Necrogen Mists trigger. Ooh, opponent's got a Momir in the graveyard. Discards a Taurine Mauler. Gets another counter. Ikra Shadiki coming into play. Yeah, that's life gain. Opponent going to attack our Planeswalker, that's fair. Gonna send the Ludevic our way. Awesome. Hits with the Ikra, they're gonna gain some life back. Opponent discards a card to the Necrogen Mists. It's a land. Sleeper's Robes. Chain a creature has fear. When it deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Sweet. And that will create a 2/2 Pegasus with flying. Sends the Archon back to the partner opponents. Necrogen Mist trigger. Oh, you know what we should have did last turn? We should have got the Wheel of Torture. Because then I think we draw cards with the Ludevic. No, never mind. Wheel of Torture doesn't draw. The timing doesn't work out on that. Actually, if we Castle Locktwain, do we draw 2? We might draw 2. I might be on Castle Locktwain this turn. Opponent doing some attacking. Sword of the Animist will trigger. Bunch of triggers going on the stack. Looks like 4 goad triggers. Ugh. Oof. Exiles Wood Elves and Underrealm Lich. Those are cards. Has the mana to cast them. Tectonic Giant. Ew. It's a card. End step, opponent will get to draw. Does not cast either of the green cards there. That's interesting. We have to discard. I've been thinking about this for a while. We're 2 mana away from Price of Knowledge. As good as that is, I just don't think we're going to have time to get it in. That's a Chaos Warp. That's mildly helpful. We really need a land, though. We want to lose 4 to Castle Locktwain? Not really. I'm going for the Exquisite Blood. Hopefully we don't just get focused. Hopefully opponents haven't faced this card enough times to know what to do. That's what you do when you slam one of these. You pray that people don't know how to play against it properly. Especially as unprotected as we are. Opponent going on the attack. I told him that I didn't really have anything beside the Exquisite Blood, so... I mean, Wheel of Torture is okay, but... Opponent's gonna block with the Tectonic Giant. It's gonna be 2 Ikra triggers and 2 Exquisite Blood triggers. We could definitely use that life gain. So we go back up to 40. Opponent's back up to 43. Opponent upset that all their hard work with the goblins, the damage, has gone away with the life gain from Ikra and the life gain from Exquisite Blood. And that's a Marin. Marin is very good. Although, Marin is solid, Marin is less good outside of its own deck. So, you know, the thing that needs to happen right now is a board wipe. If someone just plays a board wipe, then Marin's not going to do anything. On the other hand, I guess opponent does have his Momir Vig in the graveyard, so they can just get, even getting that back to hand, and this Burnish Shard too. And opponent's going to get back that Taurine Mauler, no big deal. I would have gone for the Momir Vig personally, that card's pretty crazy. And that Burnish Heart is in play. Opponent going to send the Archon our way. Yep. Here it comes. So they get to draw a card. Tribelder for opponent. Ludevic trigger. Necrogen Mist trigger on Grenzo. Ooh, nice. Opponent discards a Siege Gang Commander. That's a pretty nasty card. Somewhere along the line they lost a Disrupt Decorum too. That one is also very nasty. Opponent doing some attacks. Sword of the Animus will trigger. Tectonic Giant will trigger. Let's see what they go with. Goes for the Exile too. Was hoping on the damage because that would be some sweet, sweet life gain. Tectonic Giant is interesting, especially for like aggressive red decks. If you're doing something that's a little bit more equipment-based, which I often am, I think I like Prophetic Flamespeaker just a little bit better on the Exile trigger, because with Tectonic Giant, you do have to choose between them, and a lot of times you're like caught between either you want another land or you want the card. Sometimes you have to give up on pieces in your deck, like you don't want to exile like a Sunforger piece or something like Teferi's Protection. With the Tectonic Giant, you know, and especially if you're just like, I need a land super badly. So it's a little bit awkward, but the option between that and the damage trigger is pretty cool. So I'm not saying don't run it, I'm just saying it does force you into some tough decision making when you're playing it. And whenever you give yourself tough decision making, it does open up opportunities to make mistakes. And like one of the things I've realized is most people don't play Commander competitively, and like they just want to hang out with their buddies at the shop and chit chat and BS and all that kind of stuff. And when you're doing that, you're much more likely to make mistakes than, like, you know, if you're in the finals of a Pro Tour or something like that. So, you know, being at a shop and just hanging out with your friends, your attention may not be as close as it needs to be to make 100% optimal decisions all the time. And a card like Tectonic Giant can put tough decisions on yourself, but it still does a lot of good things. So just something to keep in mind, and something that I noticed while I was testing it out a little bit. That's a Wound Reflection. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. That's going to pair pretty well with our deck, I think. Ooh, opponent's going to guess Mark of Mutiny on this Burnished Heart. And they're probably about to sack this Burnished Heart. Does 1 damage to the Tribelder, nice. So they'll just sack the Tribelder in response. Yep, go grab that land. Everyone except the mono-red opponent a little bit land stuck this game. Not a lot of ramp happening. We've missed, what, 3 land drops? Yeah. Yeah, I am noticing some issues with this deck, and I'll kind of talk about them as we get to the end. So everyone going to lose a bunch more life to this Wound Reflection. And we're going to gain some life back up to 31. So we get back to our turn. I'm going to discard the Chaos Warp right here. I've been thinking about it for a little while. There are multiple problems on board, and Chaos Warp does not solve all of them. That's a Skull Rend. Well, that's definitely interesting. Choice between Wheel of Torture or Skull Rend. Wheel of Torture is going to give us a consistent effect. Wound Reflection and Ludevic, no targets, though. So Necrogen Mist trigger and Wheel of Torture trigger. Another counter on the Nihilstone. Reclamation Sage, let's see what this goes after. I would guess Wound Reflection. That is a super dangerous card. Goes after the Goblin Bombardment. Interesting. One thing I didn't think about with the Wound Reflection is that opponent could kill us. If they just attack us with everything, that's probably about lethal after the damage doubling. There's a Karuga, the Macro Sage. Enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. That's a few at this point. Yeah, that's like 5. At least 6? Goes up to 8 cards. Oh my. Do they try and take us out right here? They're sending a fairly sizable hit over our way. That is going to be 10 damage. That's going to get doubled to 20. Oy. Ikra and Exquisite Blood will trigger. We go down to 26. Opponent's up to 57. Here comes the Wound Reflection, Marin, and Ludevic triggers. Yeah. So we go down to 20. We gained about 10 back off of the Exquisite Blood and the Wound Reflection triggering. Oh, that's our Wound Reflection, by the way? I just noticed that. Didn't think about it. Right. A black card in a mono-red deck? No. Yep, so that's ours. Oops, I did this set of triggers wrong. Wasn't paying attention. Opponent will lose a little bit less life as a result, and we will gain less life as a result. Ooh, discards a Bident of Thassa. Ouch. Opponent's going to send the Archon our way. Yep, no blocks. They draw a card. One plays a Trace of Abundance that gets themselves another Pegasus. Oh, that's an Edric Spymaster of Trest. There is so much incentive to be playing creatures right now, and we are not playing creatures. This is terribly frustrating. Wound Reflection will trigger. Ludevic will trigger. We're back up to 14. Opponent sending everything at the Ikra. Yeah, life gain is king right here. They are up to 57 life. Let's see what Tectonic Giant ability they go with. Ooh, they're going for the damage. Nice. The damage is going to gain us some life. Gonna get another land off the Sword of the Animist. Opponent not opting to kill us, probably because they want our wound reflection, because I'm sure they're going to need that to chew through this life total. We go back up to 17. Opponent's going to do some blocks. That was just off the Tectonic Giant trigger, by the way. Damage resolves. Opponent goes down to 51. A whole bunch of triggers on the stack here. Marin triggers, Grenzo triggers, Spymaster triggers, Exquisite Blood triggers. One counter for Marin. Opponent still has good stuff in their graveyard. Yep, they can get back that Rex Sage. Lantern of Insight for opponent. What's our top card? Top card of our library is a Basilisk Collar. Not helpful because we don't have creatures. Awesome. Possibility Storm. Nice. I will happily cast a Basilisk Collar for a chance at a Mana Rock. Tome of Legends. Nice. Goes into the Possibility Storm. Oh, opponent's got a Reforge the Soul on top of their library. I would love a Reforge the Soul right now. Wouldn't resolve, though. Possibility Storm's in play. They get themselves a Culling Dais. They move the Sword of the Animist. Wound Reflection will trigger. We should gain some life back right here. Back up to 26. Not too bad. Necrogen Mist trigger. We're going to have to discard this Skull Rend. It's fine. Whip of Erebos on top. So if we Basilisk Collar, we'll get the Whip of Erebos. Seems like a good upgrade. Cast the Whip of Erebos after the Possibility Storm. Mountain on top, so use the Castle Locktwain. Oh, are you kidding me? Do we really not have enough? We've been on 4 lands this whole time. Oy. We could reanimate a Glinthorn Buccaneer at some point. Don't even have enough for the Castle Locktwain. Ouch. Wound Reflection will trigger. Ludevic will trigger. Necrogen Mist trigger on the bottom. Wheel of Torture trigger. Since we don't have a hand, I'll bring everyone's library down here. This game is going to highlight the importance of land drops. We've missed 4 of them, and it's just been super painful. We basically can't do anything as a result. So in decks like this, I really like to run our Armillary Sphere, because having an Armillary Sphere just solves a lot of problems. Make sure you don't get stuck on 4 lands. Opponent doing some attacks. Couple coming our way. We're going to feel this. We are going to feel this. Opponent doing some blocks. Blocks are not great for us. We want people losing life so that we can gain life back. Bunch more triggers going on the stack. We're down to 21 after the Exquisite Blood triggers. Edric Spymaster will trigger, and Ikra will trigger. Banana draws a bunch of cards. They draw an Atali, a Consecrated Sphinx. Ugh. Well, that should put a pretty big target on opponent. Opponent's back up to 65 life. Oy. Springbloom Druid. Oh no, that's going to be Springbloom into the Consecrated Sphinx. Fantastic. With a Fleshbag Marauder on top. Wonderful. If only we could steal that Consecrated Sphinx somehow. Fierce Empath for opponent into the Possibility Storm. That's going to be the Fleshbag Marauder. Now showing a Manglehorn on top. Opponent sacrificing creatures. Marin's getting counters. Here comes an Imperial Recruiter. That's going to go into the Possibility Storm. That'll hit the Manglehorn. What artifact do they want to blow up? Probably this Wheel of Torture. About the only thing, like, really keeping us going. It goes after the Culling Dais. Doesn't want Grenzo drawing. Interesting. Grenzo does run, like, Mob Rule and Insurrection type stuff as soon as they hit those. That's probably how this game's going to end, I would imagine. I don't know what's going on with Karona. Like, they've had cards in hand all game and somehow have missed a lot of land drops, haven't ramped. Like, our excuse is that we just haven't had cards. We put them in play and then they did nothing. So, I don't know what's going on with them over there. They've got green. They should be playing, like, Cultivates and stuff. Wound Reflection, Ludevic, Marin all trigger. Marin getting back the clone. Opponent showing a Vizier on top, so another clone. Wheel of Torture, Necrogen Mist trigger. Actually, if Karona comes in right here, too, that could also be pretty serious. That's a Mob Rule. Okay. Who's gonna die? Oh, no, the Mob Rule goes into a Farseek. Possibility Storm. RIP. Oh, have I been doing this Wheel of Torture wrong? I think I have. Okay, the wording on this thing is super confusing. So X is 3 minus, so the amount of damage would be 5 minus 3 minus... So I think it's less than 3. Yeah, that must be right. Otherwise, our life total would be higher, I think. Sweeper's Robe triggers, Consecrated Sphinx triggers. Yep, opponent's going to draw like crazy, and they've been the one hitting lands, so that's going to be a big problem. Showing a Sire of Stagnation on top. Everyone mostly lands on top. It's no good. Board wipe badly needed. Opponent also showing land on top. Man, this Price of Knowledge would have been pretty cool if we drew, like, any mana at all this game. There was a Noxious Gear Hulk revealed in there somewhere. We are down to 6. Necrogen Mist trigger. Yep, Exquisite Blood trigger, okay. Opponent has a Greater Gargadon on top. Consecrated Sphinx triggers. Oh my god, opponent just hit a Blasphemous Act. Here comes the Blasphemous Act. Hey, everything getting blown up. A bunch of Marin counters. Yeah, that needed to happen. Reset this game. I still don't know that we can catch up. Like, it's going to be super difficult. We're down to 7. Opponent's got 15 cards in hand with a bunch of lands. Coveted Jewel into a Combustible Gear Hulk. Ooh, opponent's got an Underworld Breach. seems pretty good. Opponent chooses the player with the highest life total. That's interesting. They're more likely to just take the damage. Although, damage being doubled is a thing. Yeah, they take the damage. Goes down to 52. Puts us back to 20. Nice. We're going to get more at the end step. Nice. Put the sword on the combustible gear Hulk. Yeah. So, wound reflection. Back to 33. Opponent goes down to 39. Necrogen mists on us. Oh, there's a mana geyser on top. We'll never be able to, we're not going to be able to get it. Yeah. Also, there's, like, nothing to do with it, really. Play the mountain. We could reanimate the Glint Horn Buccaneer. This would do 2 damage. That would get double. That would do 4 damage. We can't activate the discard ability. Double check. Make sure we can't cast our commander. Nope. 1 short. I guess we are passing. Let's see what other sorceries could be in our deck that might be helpful for this mana geyser. Opponent's going to cast the Playcrafter. Yeah, it's going to get us. We don't even have cards to discard. Get wrecked. That'll force opponents to sacrifice their combustible Gear Hulk, though. Gear Hulk down. All right, so I think there's about 5 sorceries that we could hit with this mana geyser. 1 is Torment. That's not great. Blasphemous Act. We may need a board wipe by then. We'll see what happens. A bunch of them are board wipes. Skullren's already gone. That's in our graveyard. Damnation is another board wipe, so that's 2 board wipes. Siphon Mind would actually be solid. That's card draw. Wheel of Fortune would be really good. Dark Deal would be not great. Actually, Dark Deal might do damage. No, would it? No, we don't have the things to do damage. So, it's okay. I mean, we probably got to try, right? Really don't have anything else we could be doing. Chasm Skulker coming in for opponent. So what did I say? Like 2 board wipes. No, 3 board wipes. I think, is there a Toxic Deluge in the deck? There's a Toxic Deluge. So 3 board wipes, 1 wheel, 1 bad wheel, and 1 Siphon Mine. That would be pretty good. So what? I think that's what, 5 cards or so? What did I say? 3 board wipes. 3 board wipes, 2 wheels, and a Torment of Hailfire. So that's 6 cards, 2 of which we want to hit. Maybe that's not the best. Opponent discarded a bunch at the end step. Really loading up the counters on our thingy. Opponent's going to cast the Vow of Wilderness into the Possibility Storm. Hits a Font of Fertility. I'm sure not quite what they had in mind. Karona going on the attack into the 4-color opponent. It'll get +3/+3. That's got lifeline. There's the Exquisite Blood. Opponent says the storm has not been kind to you. Yep, no, it has not. We're back up to 49 off of the damage right there. Opponent's down to 23. We may actually be able to take them out with the Karona. So Wheel of Torture on the bottom. I think Necrogen Mists. Oh, no. Yeah, this thing's not going to trigger. Yep. Yep, it's not going to trigger because it has to be at the beginning of the upkeep. So almost. So close. So close. Opponent gets hit by the Wheel of Torture. We're up to 52. They're down to 22. Ooh, the card they drew was a land. Ouch. They can recast their commander, which they do. Probably come our way and get an exile. I would actually love it if they exile that Mana Geyser. Not at all interested in that Mana Geyser. Now, opponent's going to swing into the 4-color opponent. Yep. Chasm Skulker goes down. Opponent's going to get a bunch of squid. Actually, I don't think they had that many counters on it. 0, they had 0 counters on it. No squid. Nice. Wound Reflection will trigger. So Karona and Necrogen Mists will trigger. There's the Mana Geyser. Because a lot of these are board wipes, we're going to wait to the second main phase to do that. We'll keep swinging into Banana, since that's the popular thing to do right here. Don't want to rock the boat, make anyone else attack us. Karona going to combat. Avatar is the creature type on this thing. Choosing Avatar. We go up to 60. Nice. Opponent's down to 15. 16 Commander from the Karona. Well, let's see what we hit with this Mana Geyser. Could be good, could be bad. Into the Possibility Storm. Nice, it's the Siphon Mind. Cast the Siphon Mind. Ooh, we catch a Torbrand. Oh, one opponent didn't discard. Play the Swamp. And pass turn. Next turn, we could potentially activate Castle Locktwain as something to discard. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Opponent goes down to 7. We go up to 76. Wheel of Torture on the bottom. Farhaven Elf into the Possibility Storm. Oh, opponent's got a Rurik Armasaur. Oh my. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana ability, you may draw a card. We need some card draw. Opponent can do some stuff with that on the stack. Opponent's going to exile all graveyards. Whatever. Oh no, that's a you may draw a card. That's not... Sorry, I was thinking Heartwood Storyteller. That's the everyone draws a card. So graveyards are exiled. Ikra coming into play. Karona going to swing into us. Yeah, we have a lot of life. We'll probably die to commander damage, though. 8 coming at us. Yep. Wound Reflection. Going to get us a little more. Down to 60. Karona comes back to opponent. If they can get some sort of evasion on it, they got easy commander lethal. Opponent's going to sacrifice the Font of Fertility. Verduran Enchantress for opponent into the Possibility Storm. Gets a Trigon Predator. Uh-oh. Trigon Predator gonna eat all of our stuff. See where this Karona's going. Going into the Ikra opponent. Blocks with the Armasaur. Puts a Bloodthirsty Blade on the Ikra. Wound Reflection, Exquisite Blood. No life gain. Bunch of triggers. Quest. Oh, nice. We're going to get opponent with the Quest for the Nile Stone. Nice. And they'll gain control of the Karona. Nice. We finally get some damage with this Quest for the Nile Stone. Getting opponent for 5. Turn 11. Turn 11. Ugh. It's safe to say this card's not doing much for me. Opponent goes down to 14. They do have Karona and Grenzo, though. No other land for opponent. Ouch. Gonna use the Rogue's Passage, make probably Karona unblockable. Yep, gonna make Karona unblockable. This'll probably finish Banana. And Grenzo coming our way, that seems fair. Gotta be careful, we got 8 Commander on us. Oh, that's from the Karona, though. 5 from previous Grenzo hits. Hopefully they don't exile something we really need. We have many cards exiled. A lot of it was from that graveyard, though. Opponent goes down to Commander damage. We get an Exquisite Blood trigger. Gonna exile the top card of our library. It's a Damnation. I don't think they play it. Maybe they do. Gives them something to do. No, they don't play it. Wound Reflection will trigger. Brings back to our turn, Necrogen Mist trigger, a Karona trigger. Discard the Torbrand. We draw Phyrexian Arena. Where was that all game? Unfortunately... Oh, no, we might be able to do it. We might be able to do it. No, Yeah, I think we have exactly enough to go Phyrexian Arena. Get this Torbrand. Torbrand will, what, +2? No, it's only +2. It'll be +2 damage on the Karona. Does that matter? Probably not. Well, I guess that's 10. What is this? This is 6 CMC, so won't get any help from Obosh. I mean, I guess I definitely don't want to discard the Phyrexian Arena, so let's get that into play. Oh, right. It's not actually going to come into play. Possibility Storm. Hopefully we hit something good. We hit a Citadel of Pain. Beginning of each player's end step, deals X damage to that player where X is the number of untapped lands they control. It's not like a hard thing to work around. I guess after that we just reanimate the Torbrand. So that'll be 4. That'll be 8 + 2 is 10. We can take out Grenzo. I don't know that we can stop the other player, though. Well, I guess we do it. Bring back Torbrand. It'll gain us a lot of life, if nothing else. Trigon, you know what? Trigon Predator's a real problem. I think we just swing everything at Zachary Ryan. I'll go for the Dwarf. Now they're both 5/5s. They're going to block their commander. That seems fair. Eats the Trigon Predator, though, and that's important because we don't want our enchantments getting blown up. Exquisite Blood will trigger. When it goes down to 24. Bunch triggers at the end step. Wound Reflection, Whip of Erebos, Citadel of Pain. We're going to get opponent with this Necrogen Mist trigger, so Wheel of Torture on the bottom. Necrogen Mist, then the Karona trigger. We're up to a casual 98. Opponent's down to 15. We're up to 100 now. That's a Zur the Enchanter for opponent. Dragon Broodmother for opponent into a Dragon Lair Spider. That's weirdly... Those are two weirdly similar creatures. To hit one after the other with the Possibility Storm. However... Oh, we may not survive. We might die to commander damage. It depends on what Two Weens wants to do. Yeah, here comes Karona into us. Opponent's down to 0 cards, though, and so is Two Weens. If... Oh, man, maybe we should have went for Obosh. If we went for Obosh, that would double up... No, this one's life loss, so that one doesn't get doubled. This one would get doubled, though. Weens might be in a pick who you lose to situation, though. I don't know how they get out of this. Nice. Gonna get them with the Wheel of Torture and the quest for the Nile Stone. We're up to 16 commander from Karona. Yeah, they could just take us out if they want to. But then they gotta deal with this stuff. Sword of the Animist onto Grenzo. Karona's unblockable. Opponent saying it's a 3-way tie for the Kingmaker. Yeah, see what they do. Alright, Grenzo our way, Karona our way. I think we'll survive. Well, they could hit a board wipe off the top, and that would get rid of Karona. If that happened, then we can't necessarily kill anyone. Opponent goes down to 5. We're gonna gain life. They're going to exile the top cards of libraries. Hits a Fertile Ground and an Urborg. Oops, Citadel of Pain trigger for opponent. They're going to want to tap some lands. No, they go down to 1. Whoops. At this point, probably just wanted this game to be over. I think we've got to be near like 2 hours. This one's been going for a little while. And from our perspective, hasn't been particularly fun. Just kind of like waiting. Oh, that's the old death by wound reflection right there. That takes down the Karona. We discard a card, but opponent's gonna die to our shenanigans on their upkeep, unless they... No, I don't think there's really anything that they could have. That's a Bloodchief Ascension. Cast our commander. Where'd our... Oh, Phyrexian Arena didn't happen, right. Pass the turn, opponent will die to upkeep stuff. Necrogen Mist, Wheel of Torture. Alright, this game is finally over. It may say that we win right here, but I don't know if there were any winners in this game. This game was pretty terrible. Very long. We did so little. Even some of our opponents, who's in the middle slot, I don't even remember now. Whoever was in the middle slot, I think that was Zachary Ryan. Also, just terrible game for them. Just not able to do that much. That was the Karona player. I don't like what this deck's doing right now. The discard stuff didn't start to matter until turn 11. A single draw source shut down all of the discard theme in this deck. So I'm really feeling that's not the way to go. I would have been happier with like a lightning bolt with double damage. It's pretty cool. Any other burn spell for that matter, I think would have just made me happier. But what would have made me really happy was some card draw and some lands. So what I would do is I would cut most of the discard theme. I would keep stuff like Bloodchief Ascension just because that's just a good card. But Liliana's Caress, nope. Yeah, I'd probably get rid of Waste Not. Cunning Lethomancer, Dark Deal, Davriel, Megrim, Necrogen Mists, Bottomless Pit, Oppression. Well, maybe not an Oppression. Maybe keep Oppression. Like, I'm not saying don't have any discard. Like, if you're using discard to kind of keep opponents from comboing off, I'm fine with that. But the sort of like, we'll call it the Megrim style deck. I don't think this is a very good Megrim style deck, at least in its current setup. Maybe it could get there, but a single card draw source shut down all of our like discard based damage and that, or like hand size based damage rather. And that just felt terrible. I would have rather, even just creatures that cost 3 mana. Scab Clan Berserker would have made me happy. A Spell Shock would have made me happy. Things that do damage more or less unconditionally, or at least easier than opponents having to have no cards in hand, because opponents don't want no cards in hand. They can see that effect coming and will play differently to like keep cards in hand. So yeah, just didn't love that. Didn't feel great. Talked about it during the game. Needs Artillery Sphere. What's the ramp count in this deck? It doesn't feel very high. Let's take a peek. Ramp count looks like 6, a little bit too low for my liking, and a lot of it's all the single stuff. Actually, no Soul Ring in the deck. That probably needs to make its way in. Would like to see a Hedron Archive. Would like to see a Thran Dynamo, maybe a Gilded Lotus. Any of the multi-producers would be really good. So you're obviously going to have a lot of stuff at 3 mana and 5 mana because of damage. So, you know, having a lot of things at 2 and 4 for your mana ramp is where you're going to want to be, but deck needs way more mana ramp, especially if there's like any dream of getting to this stuff up here. Just not producing enough mana for that to be good. The deck needs more removal also. I mean, all opponents did was play creatures, and like we had nothing. We had literal nothing for creatures, which, you know, if you're going to plan against something, creatures are a thing that you should always have at least some plan for, and what, we had 3, I think we have 3 or so board wipes, and like just not the card draw to get to them, so none of that felt great. Yeah, so I think this deck needs some rework. Just not feeling that great. Needs more card draw, needs more ramp, needs more removal, and needs things that just like have impact. We felt very light on cards that actually have like immediate impact. Get rid of all the stuff I talked about earlier. Price of Knowledge actually seems kind of cool because it doesn't care how many cards are in their hand. As long as they have more than 0, which most people try to have more than 0, it's going to get something done for you. So that one doesn't bother me as much. Maybe a little pricey at 7 mana, but I think you could keep that one in just because it's not really conditional like the other ones are. The other ones are a little bit too conditional and too difficult to keep everyone's hand empty. So yeah, I think a lot of work needed here. The theme wasn't coming together very well and got shut down very easily by what opponents are doing, and we didn't have the ramp or the card draw to really like get past that. We were watching people play Magic for like 2 hours. Yeah, I know that we won the game, but it was kind of like the pity victory of just they didn't attack us because I told them we had literal nothing happening. So anyway, that's my criticism of the deck for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Also, there's still a few more dates left if you want to sign up for paper webcam games of Commander with me. And finally, be sure to use the TCG affiliate player link if you're buying Ikoria and Commander 20 cards.